No species will forget the day humanity finally snapped. Best HFY stories. In the vast, uncharted expanse of the galaxy, countless civilizations thrived and fell, each leaving their mark on the history of the cosmos. Empires rose and collapsed like the ebb and flow of the tide, and each species believed that it had achieved a kind of greatness. The Andromedans, known for their intellect and technological prowess, ruled the stars for millennia. The Zethians, a race of immense physical strength and primal instinct, commanded the respect of every nearby system. The Galans, the most peaceful and meditative beings, held the universal title of diplomatic masters. But none, not one of them, could have predicted what was about to unfold. The day humanity snapped. The day they finally realized their full potential and unleashed it across the galaxy. No species would forget. The quiet before the storm. It began quietly, as most things do. The humans were seen as weak, a curious species on the fringes of galactic power. Their technologies were primitive compared to the other races. Their biology was frail, easily broken. They had no psychic powers like the Eldrathians, no massive war fleets like the Zavara, but they had one thing that the others didn't: determination. For years, humanity had quietly built alliances, learned, and adapted. They had seen their colonies rise and fall. They had endured hardships that would break lesser species, and they did it all with a kind of quiet, unwavering resilience. But as time went on, they began to change. It started with a single question, whispered in the halls of their brightest minds: what if we could go beyond? The first snap. The first sign that humanity was no longer content to sit in the shadows came during the Battle of Sarat IV. The Andromedans, confident in their superior technology, invaded the human colony, expecting an easy conquest. What they didn't anticipate was the human spirit. Sarat IV was a barren, resource-poor world. It wasn't even strategically important. Yet the humans fought tooth and nail to defend it. They used every trick in the book: sabotage, guerrilla tactics, and clever use of the environment. But when the Andromedan fleet descended from orbit, they unleashed a weapon that no one had seen before. The humans had reverse-engineered a long-lost piece of alien technology, a single ship capable of harnessing the raw energy of a star. In a flash of blinding light, the Andromedan fleet was gone. 1,000 ships turned to ash in the blink of an eye. The Andromedans, despite their vast knowledge, were utterly unprepared for such ferocity. It wasn't just the power of the weapon, it was the unyielding will of humanity to survive and protect their own. The resurgence. Humanity didn't stop there. They built more of those star-killer ships. But they didn't just focus on military might, they began to understand something the other species didn't: unity. The Andromedans had been brilliant, but their arrogance had made them fragile. The Zethians had been strong, but they lacked the creativity to adapt. The Galans had been peaceful, but their pacifism had left them vulnerable. Humans were different. They had the capacity to innovate in the face of impossible odds, to build alliances and turn enemies into friends. They didn't just throw themselves into battle. They transformed every challenge into an opportunity for growth. They had come from a small, broken world, but now they were becoming something more, something that all the galaxy feared. The snapping point. The final straw came during the Galactic Council Summit. For centuries, the Council had ruled over the galaxy with an iron fist, deciding the fates of countless species with cold, calculated detachment. They had treated humanity like children, dismissing their voice in favor of more powerful and established races. But humanity had been patient. They had endured. At the summit, the humans were once again ignored, their representatives dismissed with arrogant sneers. This time, however, humanity had had enough. They had been building in secret, gathering resources, developing new technologies, things that would change the balance of power forever. And now they were ready. The human delegation stood before the council in silence. For a moment, no one moved, no one spoke. Then, without warning, humanity launched their ultimate weapon, the Epoch Prism, a device capable of tearing through the fabric of spacetime itself. The galaxy trembled as the weapon activated, reshaping the very core of the council's power. A wave of energy rippled across the universe, erasing the influence of the old guard, breaking down barriers that had once seemed impenetrable. The aftermath. The galaxy was never the same again. The other species, stunned by humanity's sudden rise, were forced to reckon with the truth: Humanity was no longer a species to be trifled with. The Andromedans, once proud of their intellect, now scrambled to understand how they had been outsmarted. The Zethians, who had prided themselves on strength, found themselves humbled by the sheer determination and adaptability of humans. The Galans, the pacifists, realized that in a galaxy ruled by conflict, peace alone would never be enough. Humanity had snapped. They had risen from the ashes of their own humble beginnings and shattered the status quo. They had shown the galaxy that no matter how small or insignificant a species might seem, it could always become a force to be reckoned with. And as the humans looked to the stars, they realized that this was just the beginning. The galaxy would never forget the day humanity finally snapped. In that moment, every species knew humanity had arrived. The reign of the unseen. Once the galaxy recovered from the shockwave that humanity's emergence had sent through the stars, the true cost of their rise became evident. The other species, those who had once believed themselves to be the epitome of advancement, now found themselves in a new order where their old methods no longer held sway. The Andromedans, renowned for their intellect, were forced into a corner. The humans had not only outsmarted them at Sarat 4, but now, they had cracked the secret to faster-than-light travel using a method unknown to any other species. Their ships were able to traverse the cosmos in mere hours, faster than any pursuit could be mounted against them. It was not simply that the humans had advanced quickly, it was that their adaptability, their willingness to learn from every encounter, made them nearly impossible to predict. The Zethians, whose physical prowess had once dominated the galaxy, now found themselves in a position of vulnerability. Despite their great strength, their rigid combat style couldn't match the flexibility of the humans. When the Zethian forces attempted to launch an attack on the human colonies, they found themselves outflanked at every turn. The humans had no fear, no hesitation, and the Zethians could never have anticipated that the same species they had underestimated would employ unconventional tactics that made them uncatchable. The Galans, once the masters of diplomacy, now found themselves overshadowed by humanity's ability to form coalitions. The humans did not rely on tradition or careful negotiation alone, they offered something far more powerful, the drive to build. They reached out to the oppressed species, the outcasts, the hidden factions across the galaxy, offering them refuge and a place in their growing alliance. The Galans, stuck in their old ways, found themselves without a foothold in the new order. Humanity's ability to unite disparate races through not just words, but actions, made their diplomatic reach far more effective. And then there was the surprise of all, the Kragath. The Kragath were a monstrous race, towering and fierce, their culture built on dominance and bloodshed. They had once ruled over entire sectors with fear, but when humanity finally turned their attention to them, it was with a single goal, survival, not conquest. The Kragath were ruthless, but the humans were relentless. They fought not with brute force, but with cunning, with foresight, using the Kragath's own tactics against them. The Kragath thought they could break the humans in combat, but humanity's ability to turn every battle into an opportunity for knowledge made them stronger with every encounter. And when the Kragath finally realized they could not break them, it was too late. The Kragath would never forget how the humans had turned their very culture into a weapon against them, leaving them fractured and weak. The fall of the Galactic Council. For centuries, the Galactic Council had been a symbol of balance. The Zavara, the majestic and noble creatures known for their psychic powers, had been its most influential members. Yet, as time passed, they had grown complacent, unwilling to adapt. The humans, now a dominant force, were seen as a threat to the old order. The Zavara, determined to maintain their status, tried to assert their power, but it was clear they were out of their depth. Their psychic abilities could no longer overwhelm humanity's technological advancements. It was the humans who took down the Galactic Council, not with brute force, but with the subtle precision of their most brilliant minds. They knew the cracks in the Council's system and exploited them. Every whisper in the right ear, every carefully orchestrated alliance, and every well-timed strike against the Council's influence led to a slow and inevitable dismantling of the centuries-old governing body. The humans, with their newfound power, did not seek to replace the Council with their own form of governance. Instead, they sought to rebuild the galaxy, to create a new order, one that was not ruled by a few elite species, but by cooperation, adaptability, and the collective strength of all species. The galaxy, once fragmented by distrust and competition, was now united under a single principle. Humanity had shown that no species, no matter how dominant, was safe from change. The day humanity snapped had forever altered the fabric of the universe. The New Dawn. In the years that followed, humanity's influence continued to grow, but it wasn't just their technological superiority or their military might that changed the galaxy, it was their unyielding spirit, their refusal to accept their place as underdogs. They showed the universe that survival was not about being the strongest, the fastest, or the most technologically advanced. It was about the will to endure, to adapt, and to rise no matter how impossible the odds seemed. The other species, once united in their condescension toward humanity, had no choice but to accept the inevitable. They learned to respect humanity not because they were stronger, but because they were something far more dangerous. They were relentless. As humanity spread across the stars, they didn't demand worship or fear. Instead, they offered something that no other species could give, the chance to thrive through cooperation and growth. The galaxy began to transform, not into an empire ruled by one dominant species, but into a new society where strength, intellect, and unity were shared by all. No species would forget the day humanity finally snapped. It was the day they realized that in the face of adversity, humanity could not be broken. It was the day they understood that no matter how vast the galaxy became, it was no longer theirs to control. It belonged to humanity and the allies they had gathered, not by force, but by the sheer power of their will. The ripple across the stars. Humanity's rise was not without consequence. The galaxy, which had once been a harmonious web of competing empires, now found itself irrevocably altered by the human presence. And while the dominant powers of the galaxy grudgingly accepted humanity's place at the table, deep beneath the surface, something else began to stir. The first sign of change came from the depths of the forgotten realms. The far-off sectors were once powerful. Ancient civilizations had fallen into dust. These were the places that no one had dared to explore in centuries. Places where the remnants of old empires remained, their ruins scattered among the stars. The humans, ever curious, began to venture into these spaces, driven by their thirst for knowledge and an unrelenting desire to understand. What they uncovered would change the course of galactic history once again. The Awakening. The Cryon Expanse, a vast and barren stretch of space, was one such forgotten region. Humanity, in their unyielding search for answers, had discovered a massive, buried structure, ancient beyond imagination. It was there that they found the dormant remnants of the Zalgar, a species so old that its very name had been erased from the galaxy's records. The Zalgar were believed to have been the architects of the first hyperdrive engines. Long before the known species had even begun to form empires, their technology was leagues beyond anything the galaxy had seen, and their power was said to rival that of entire star systems. They were thought to have disappeared in some long-forgotten cataclysm. But they hadn't vanished entirely. They were waiting. And now, humanity had awoken them. When the first Zalgar ship rose from its slumber, the galaxy shuddered. It was a vessel unlike anything any species had ever seen. It dwarfed even the largest capital ships, its hull adorned with energy signatures that crackled like lightning in a storm. And within it, the dormant minds of the Zalgar themselves began to stir. They found humanity waiting. The invitation. Unlike the other species, who might have fled or sought to destroy such an ancient force, humanity acted with a singular resolve. They did not come with weapons drawn, nor with demands. They approached the Zalgar with an open hand, extending an invitation rather than a threat. They offered their knowledge, their technologies, and their unity, and they asked for one thing in return: to learn. The Zalgar, who had once dominated the galaxy, looked at the humans with a kind of ancient amusement. They had not anticipated this, an unknown species, young and brash, but without fear. They had expected humanity to try and conquer them, to try and claim their ancient secrets for themselves. Instead, humanity offered partnership. They sought not domination, but cooperation. It was this willingness to listen, to learn from the past rather than repeat it, that set humanity apart. And after centuries of isolation, the Zalgar agreed. The Galactic Renaissance. The partnership between humanity and the Zalgar opened the floodgates to a new era in galactic history. It wasn't just the return of forgotten technologies or the resurgence of ancient knowledge, it was the dawn of a new galactic renaissance. Humanity, now in possession of the most advanced technology ever known, did not simply use it to dominate other species. Instead, they sought to lift the entire galaxy. Humanity's approach was simple but revolutionary. They encouraged the other species to embrace their potential, to look beyond the confines of their old ways, and to adopt the spirit of adaptation that had carried humanity to power. No species would be left behind in this new world. The Zalgar shared their knowledge freely, teaching the other races to push the boundaries of their own capabilities. The Andromedans, who had once been the intellectual giants of the galaxy, were quick to join humanity in this new partnership. They shared their archives, their research, and their wisdom, but they found themselves humbled as humanity pushed the boundaries of scientific discovery even further, discovering things they had once thought impossible. The Zethians, once known for their brutality, now found new purpose. With the technology gifted by the Zalgar, they learned to harness their raw strength not just for war, but for creation. They became the galaxy's great engineers, building cities and structures that stretched across entire planets, reshaping worlds with their power. The Galans, who had always believed in peace, found themselves at the forefront of this new age of diplomacy. They were the bridge between the species, using their deep understanding of negotiation to ensure that the new Galactic Council did not repeat the mistakes of the past. The humans did not seek control, they sought balance, and with the guidance of the Galans, the new galactic order began to form. The Forgotten Ones. But not all were content with this new order. There were those fractured remnants of old powers, those who clung to the old ways, who could not accept humanity's rise. In the far reaches of space, in the dark sectors of the galaxy, a resistance began to form. They called themselves the Forgotten Ones, and they were determined to reclaim the galaxy for themselves. Led by a coalition of disgruntled species, the Forgotten Ones sought to undo the changes humanity had brought. They spread dissent, sowing distrust between the newly united races. They attempted to sabotage the advancements, to turn the galaxy back to the fractured state it had once been in. But humanity, ever resilient, would not let the galaxy slip back into chaos. They did not wage war against the Forgotten Ones in the traditional sense. Instead, they outthought them, outmaneuvered them, and above all, outlasted them. The strength of humanity lay not in their military might, but in their ability to adapt and evolve, traits that had made them feared and respected. The Forgotten Ones were crushed, not by force, but by the unstoppable momentum of a galaxy united under the banner of progress and cooperation. The old ways had been left behind, and the new era had taken root. The galaxy would never be the same. The legacy of humanity. As the dust settled and the galaxy entered this new age, one thing became clear to every species: humanity had not simply snapped. They had become the spark that lit a fire that now burned across the stars, uniting all in its warmth. The galaxy had watched as humanity had risen from obscurity, had fought against impossible odds, and had transformed their world from one of desperation into one of hope. They had rewritten the rules of the cosmos, showing that no matter how small or powerless a species may seem, it was the strength of their will, their unity, and their determination that defined their true power. The day humanity had snapped had been the day the galaxy had realized that they were no longer on the sidelines of history. Humanity was the future, and no species would ever forget the day they finally snapped. The legacy beyond the stars. As the new age unfolded across the galaxy, it became clear that humanity's rise was not simply the end of one chapter, but the beginning of an entirely new era. The people of Earth, once limited to a small, fragile world at the edge of the Milky Way, had taken their place as the keystone of a new galactic order. But as the years passed, humanity's influence stretched beyond their expectations, becoming the foundation for a civilization that no longer just endured, it thrived. Their presence in the galaxy brought an infusion of hope, innovation, and opportunity, but it also stirred something deeper within the other species. Where once there had been distrust and competition, there now existed a mutual respect, a delicate balance between the old powers and the new. The relationships were not without challenges. Some species struggled to adapt, unwilling to embrace the changes humanity had brought. Others, like the Zalgar, continued to play a quiet yet powerful role, guiding humanity as they ventured deeper into the mysteries of the universe. However, in the background, humanity was preparing for something far grander than anyone could foresee. The unseen horizon. The day came when humanity's greatest minds, fueled by centuries of exploration and discovery, looked to the stars once again. They no longer sought only to conquer or defend, nor to establish dominance through force. Instead, they turned their gaze to the distant galaxies, beyond the familiar boundaries of their home galaxy. It was time to explore the cosmos in its entirety, not just for expansion, but for enlightenment. For centuries, the various species had explored and mapped nearby stars, charted the boundaries of their territories, and traded with others who shared similar territories. But humanity had learned that the galaxy itself was a vast, untapped well of knowledge, and that the secrets held in the deeper reaches of the universe were far beyond the comprehension of any one species. A vast fleet of human explorers, equipped with technology inherited from the Zalgar and refined by their own ingenuity, was sent beyond the known reaches of the Milky Way. They crossed the Great Void, passed through cosmic anomalies that had once been thought impenetrable, and explored worlds that had never seen the light of another sentient species. And it was during this first journey into the unknown that humanity discovered something truly extraordinary. A relic, older than even the Zalgar. It was found in the debris of a dying star system, hidden within the ruins of a planet that had long since vanished into the black abyss of space. At first, the relic appeared to be a simple artifact, a colossal structure buried beneath the planet's crust. But as humanity unearthed it, they realized it was something far more advanced than anything they had ever seen. The relic, an ancient machine of incomprehensible design, pulsed with energy and seemed to respond to the presence of human life. It was clear now that humanity had stumbled upon a legacy far older than the Zalgar. It was a machine from the precursors, an ancient race that had created the very building blocks of the universe, shaping the laws of physics and existence itself. This race had existed long before the Zalgar, long before any known civilization. They had seeded the galaxy with technologies that allowed life to evolve, that shaped the very fabric of spacetime. And now, humanity had uncovered their legacy. A new understanding. The discovery of the precursor machine sent ripples throughout the galaxy. No longer was humanity simply a rising power. They had become the inheritors of a legacy that stretched back to the beginning of time itself. The power of the relic was unlike anything seen before. It bent the very laws of physics, allowing humans to manipulate matter, energy, and time in ways that even the Zalgar could not comprehend. This newfound power was not used recklessly. Humanity, with its deep-rooted principles of unity and restraint, chose to study the relic. They did not seek to wield its power for domination, but to understand its purpose and unlock its potential. Humanity's goal was not to bend the universe to their will, but to work in harmony with it, to discover the true meaning of existence and perhaps even the nature of creation itself. As the years passed, humanity's exploration continued, no longer limited to the known galaxy, but now stretching into the vast, unexplored reaches of the universe. With each new discovery, humanity's understanding of the cosmos deepened. They began to uncover the existence of other precursor artifacts scattered across the universe, machines that held the key to understanding the very foundation of reality. And as they did, they realized that they were not alone. The silent guardians. Deep within the void, beyond the reaches of known space, humanity discovered the first signs of a new presence. It began as whispers, signals of unknown origin detected by the most advanced human sensors. At first, the signals were faint, almost imperceptible, but over time they grew stronger. The signals were like a fingerprint, a unique signature that no species had ever encountered. As humanity delved deeper into the mystery, they uncovered an ancient race, the Silent Guardians. These beings had been watching the galaxy for eons, observing the rise and fall of civilizations, ensuring that no species ever reached the point of truly understanding the universe. They were not a species bent on conquest, nor did they seek to control. They were keepers of balance, watching over the knowledge of the precursors and ensuring that no one race ever attained too much power. The Silent Guardians had watched as humanity rose, seeing in them something they had not seen in any other species, the potential for true understanding, the ability to wield knowledge without falling to the hubris that had doomed so many other civilizations before them. Humanity had proven themselves worthy. In a moment of cosmic significance, the silent guardians made their presence known. They did not come with weapons, nor did they speak in words. Instead, they shared their knowledge with humanity, opening the doors to a vast, hidden network of ancient libraries and hidden realms. These libraries contained the combined knowledge of countless civilizations that had come before humanity, each holding the secrets of the universe and the true origins of life itself. The final horizon. Humanity, now united under a banner of exploration, knowledge, and peace, faced a new future, one that reached far beyond the stars they had once known. They had unlocked the secrets of the precursors, understood the true nature of reality, and earned the trust of the silent guardians. The galaxy, once a fractured and hostile place, had become a community, a galactic alliance of species working together to explore the mysteries of the cosmos. No longer was the galaxy divided into warring factions and struggling empires. The relics of the past were no longer weapons of war, but keys to a new age of enlightenment. Humanity had not only snapped, they had become the architects of the future, a future where knowledge was shared, peace was the goal, and exploration was the path forward. And as they looked beyond their galaxy, humanity realized that their journey was far from over. The universe was vast, and they had only just begun to scratch the surface of its true potential. The day humanity had snapped would forever be remembered as the day they became the guardians of the future, not just for themselves, but for all the species of the galaxy. It was the day they unlocked the final frontier, the one that had always been within their reach, the infinite horizon.